husband, when he talks about this question with our young adults that we live in close proximity with, he takes what he calls like a head, heart, and hands approach, because their questions are coming from all of those different angles, not just can God exist if there is evil in the world, but also why did this happen? Or why did this happen to me? Or why did this happen to this person I love? But also, what is God doing about it? If there is a good God, then what is he doing? So all of these different facets there's probably a little bit of all of them in people's questions. But if we don't wrestle with the intellectual part of it, I don't know how our heart could exalt the God who is. So.
Yeah, it's messy. It's all interrelated, right? It's not like anybody's purely philosophical or anybody's purely experiential. It's all tied together. And what I think I want to do is, as an apologist, I want to acknowledge that and help people, especially in the realm of apologetics. I want to help them with the head answers, because I do think a lot of pastors are very well equipped to help somebody to go through pain and suffering, because that's a part of their job. That's part of what they're doing, is they're shepherding people. They're helping people to grow closer to the Lord, and they're well equipped to answer sort of that question of where is God in the midst of this pain, and how can I go through this as a Christian? But I also want to make sure that we are addressing that question of where are the philosophical answers, where are the logical answers? Because if somebody, you're right, like if somebody's going through that and they don't have those pieces, or it seems like those pieces aren't present, if somebody's asking the question, how can there be an all-powerful, all-loving God and evil exists, and they get a very pastoral answer, what they might hear is, there's just not a good answer to this question, which is not the case. There actually is really deep, really well thought out answers to this question. Mike, I'm curious, as a pastor, did you experience sort of the interaction of some of those different ideas and different problems?
Yeah. And it's a fair treatment of this is comprehensive, and being careful to only touch on one aspect of this. It's very emotional. There's psychological grief that comes from this. There are honest questions that deserve honest answers. And then there needs to be some instructions. And so I thought, instructions on what to do in the midst of suffering. So I thought what Megan said about trip, the head, the hands, and the heart, I thought that was a very good way to do it. And yeah, it is messy. And so when we come to this topic, it requires a lot of wisdom, a lot of empathy, and to seek understanding. And soundbite, trite textbook answers when it comes to this topic are often very inappropriate. And yeah, it's just messy. I think that's all I have to add to it. Is it's just messy and requires great care when dealing with this topic. But there are good answers to this question, and there's some good support and help, some good biblical guidance, some good practical advice on how to conduct oneself in the midst of suffering.